The jealous friend. When I was young, I had a friend named Liam. He was smart, strong, and good at everything. He always won races at school. He always got the best grades. Everyone liked him. Teachers praised him. Friends wanted to be with him. I watched him and felt something inside me. It was jealousy. I wanted to be like him, but I was not as fast. I was not as smart. I was just me. I tried to smile. I tried to be happy for him. But deep inside, I was not happy. I was jealous, and it made me feel small. Every morning I saw him smile. He walked with confidence. He answered questions in class. He played sports and won. I sat in my seat and watched. My heart felt heavy. Why was he so good? Why was I not like him? These thoughts filled my mind. I did not like feeling this way, but I could not stop. I thought about him all the time. I compared myself to him every day. I wished I could be better. I wished I could be him. But no matter how much I wished, I was still just me. One day I tried harder. I studied more. I ran faster. I wanted to beat him. I wanted people to see me too. I woke up early. I read books at night. I practiced running every evening. I thought if I worked hard, I could be like him. But no matter what I did, he was still better. He still won the races. He still got the best grades. He still had many friends. I felt hopeless. I started to dislike him. It was not fair. I wanted him to lose. I wanted him to fail. I did not care about winning anymore. I just did not want him to win. I stopped talking to him. I stayed away. When he looked at me, I turned away. I did not smile. I did not laugh. He noticed. He asked me, "Are you okay?" I said, "I'm fine." But inside I was not fine. My jealousy grew every day. It was like a shadow that followed me everywhere. I could not escape it. I felt angry all the time. I did not enjoy school anymore. I did not enjoy anything. I only thought about Liam. I only thought about how much better he was. Then, one afternoon, something happened. Liam did something I never expected, and that moment changed everything. One afternoon, I sat alone on a bench. I watched Liam from a distance. He was laughing with friends. They talked and played. I felt invisible. No one noticed me. No one cared. I wanted to leave, but my legs felt heavy. I looked at Liam and thought, why is his life so easy? Why does everything go his way? These thoughts filled my head every day. I carried them like a heavy bag. No matter where I went, they followed me. Then Liam did something strange. He walked away from his friends. He came toward me. I looked down. I did not want to talk to him, but he sat beside me. He was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "I see you are not happy. What is wrong?" His voice was kind. His eyes were gentle. I felt something in my chest. It was guilt. I had been so jealous of him. I had never thought about how he felt. I wanted to stay silent, but the words came out. "You are better than me at everything. You always win. Everyone likes you. I try, but I am never as good as you." My voice was low. I did not want to sound weak, but Liam listened carefully. He did not laugh. He did not look surprised. Instead, he sighed. He looked at the ground. Then He said something I never expected. He said, "I am not perfect. I have problems too. You see my victories, but you don't see my struggles. I study hard because I fear failure. I run fast because I fear being left behind. I try to be strong because I fear being weak. Every day I work hard, but inside I feel pressure. I feel tired. Sometimes I wish I could stop." His words shocked me. I had never thought about his life this way. I only saw the outside. I never thought about what was inside. For the first time, I looked at Liam differently. He was not just a winner. He was not just lucky. He had fears too. He had worries too. He was human, just like me. My jealousy started to feel small. It started to fade. But I still did not know what to say. I sat there thinking, and then something changed inside me, something important. I sat in silence, thinking about Liam's words. He was not perfect. He had fears, just like me. I had always thought his life was easy. I thought he never struggled. But now I saw the truth. He worked hard. He felt pressure. He was afraid of failure, just like me. My jealousy had made me blind. I had only seen his success. I had never seen his effort. I had never seen his struggles. For the first time, I felt sorry. I had spent so much time being jealous. I had wasted my energy hating his success. But now, I wondered, what if I had used that energy for myself? What if I had focused on improving instead of comparing? I looked at Liam. He was still sitting beside me. He was waiting for me to speak, but I had no words. My mind was too full. That night, I lay in bed, thinking. I thought about my past. I thought about the times I had wished for Liam to fail. I felt ashamed. Liam was not my enemy. He was not against me. He was just living his life, doing his best, and I had been too jealous to see it. I realized something important. I had to change. I had to stop comparing. I had to focus on my own path. The next morning, I made a decision. I would stop looking at Liam. I would stop thinking about his success. Instead, I would look at myself. What could I do better? How could I improve? I did not need to be like Liam. I needed to be the best version of myself. That was enough. At school, I saw Liam again. He smiled at me. For the first time in a long time, I smiled back. It felt strange, but also good. Liam did not know it, but he had helped me. He had taught me something important. He had shown me that jealousy was a waste, that comparison was a trap, that true success was not about being better than others. It was about being better than yesterday. I started working hard, not to beat Liam, but to improve myself. I focused on my studies. I practiced running. I set small goals. I stopped thinking about Liam's success. I started thinking about my own growth. And slowly, something changed. I felt lighter. I felt free. For the first time in my life, I was not jealous. I was just me. And for the first time, that was enough. From that day, everything felt different. I no longer woke up thinking about Liam. I no longer watched him, comparing his success to mine. Instead, I focused on myself. I studied without worrying about who got the highest grade. I ran without thinking about who was the fastest. I worked hard, but for a new reason. Not to beat someone else, but to be better than before. It was a strange feeling at first. For so long, my mind had been full of jealousy. Now it felt lighter. It felt free. At school, I noticed things I'd never seen before. I saw other students struggling just like me. Some were bad at math. Some were slow at running. Some had trouble making friends. Before, I only saw my own problems. I thought I was the only one who felt left behind. But I was wrong. Everyone had their own struggles. Everyone had their own fears. I was not alone. Liam and I still talked, but something had changed. I no longer looked at him with jealousy. I saw him as a person, not a rival. I started asking him for advice. "How do you study for tests?" I asked. He shared his methods. "How do you run so fast?" He told me his training routine. Before, I would never have asked. I was too busy feeling jealous. But now, I wanted to learn, and Liam was happy to help. I started improving. My grades got better. My running speed increased. But most importantly, I felt happy. I enjoyed learning. I enjoyed working hard. For the first time, I was proud of myself. Not because I was better than someone else, but because I was better than before. And that was enough. One day, during a race at school, something unexpected happened. I was running, not thinking about winning, just focusing on my speed. Step by step, I pushed myself. I felt strong. I felt fast. And when I reached the finish line, I looked up. I had finished before Liam. For the first time ever, I had beaten him. But the strange thing was, I did not feel the joy I had imagined. I was happy, but not because I had beaten Liam. I was happy because I had done my best. Liam walked over and smiled. "You did great," he said. His words were sincere. There was no anger, no disappointment, just support. And at that moment, I understood something important. Success is not about being better than others. It is about being better than yesterday. That day, I learned a lesson that would stay with me forever. After that race, something inside me changed forever. I no longer cared about winning or losing. I no longer cared about who was better. I only cared about improving myself. Every day I worked hard. I studied with focus. I trained with discipline. But the biggest change was in my heart. I was no longer jealous. I was no longer angry. I had learned to be happy with my own progress. At school, everything felt different. I enjoyed my classes. I talked to more people. I felt lighter, as if a weight had been lifted from my shoulders. Before, I had spent so much time feeling bad about myself. Now, I used that time to grow. I was not the best student. I was not the fastest runner, but I was better than before. And that was enough. Liam and I became closer friends. We studied together. We trained together. He helped me, and I helped him. We shared our struggles. We shared our victories. Before, I had seen him as my enemy. Now, I saw him as my friend, and for the first time, I felt grateful for him. He had pushed me to grow. He had taught me an important lesson, without even knowing it. One day, a younger student came to me. He looked nervous. He held his books tightly. "Can you help me?" he asked. "I'm not good at math." His voice was small, full of doubt. I saw myself in him. I remembered how I had felt when I thought I was not good enough. I smiled at him. "Of course," I said. "I'll teach you what I know." Helping him felt good. It reminded me of how Liam had helped me. I realized something important. Everyone needs support. Everyone needs guidance. Just like Liam had helped me, I could help others. I was no longer focused on my own struggles. I wanted to lift others up. I wanted to share what I had learned. Days passed, then weeks, then months. I kept growing. I kept improving. My life was not perfect, but it was better. I felt happier. I felt stronger. I no longer looked at others with jealousy. I looked at them with understanding. I saw their hard work. I saw their struggles, and I respected them, just as I had learned to respect myself. One afternoon, Liam and I sat under a tree. The sun was warm. The air was fresh. "You've changed," Liam said, smiling. I nodded. "I've learned a lot," I said. "And it all started with you." He laughed. "I didn't do anything," he said. But he was wrong. He had done something important. He had shown me a new way to see the world. As I sat there, I thought about my journey. I had spent years feeling jealous. I had wasted time comparing myself to others. But now I understood. Life was not a race. It was not a competition. It was a journey. And everyone had their own path. The only person I needed to compete with was myself. And for the first time, I felt truly free. As time passed, I kept learning and growing. I no longer measured my success by looking at others. Instead, I focused on myself. I set small goals. I worked hard. I enjoyed the process. I understood that progress was more important than perfection. Every day was a chance to be better than yesterday. That was all that mattered. At school, I noticed something new. People started coming to me for help. They asked for advice on studying. They asked for tips on running. Before, I had always looked up to others, thinking I was not good enough. Now, others looked up to me. It felt strange, but also rewarding. I realized that growth was not just about improving myself. It was also about helping others grow. Liam and I remained close friends. We pushed each other to be better, not as rivals, but as teammates. When I failed, he encouraged me. When he struggled, I supported him. Before, I had envied his success. Now I was inspired by it. He was not my competition. He was my motivation, and I knew he felt the same way about me. One day, as I was packing my bag, a younger student stopped me. He looked nervous. "I want to be fast like you," he said, "but I don't think I can." I smiled at him. I remembered when I used to think the same way. "You don't have to be fast today," I said. "You just have to be faster than yesterday." He looked surprised. Then he smiled. He nodded and ran off to practice. That moment stayed with me. I had come so far. I had changed so much. And now I could help others do the same. Life was not about being better than others. It was about being better than before. It was about learning, growing, and lifting others up along the way. As I walked home that day, I felt grateful. Grateful for my journey. grateful for my struggles, grateful for the lessons I had learned. I had once been trapped by jealousy, but now I was free. I no longer wished to be someone else. I was happy being myself, and for the first time, that was more than enough.